Hey, welcome back. It's been a while. Man, you know what? It's a 3 cup of coffee kind of day. Don't you judge me. I'm gonna get my head of caffeine courtesy of Death Wish coffee. By the way, really delicious. Got it at Costco. Anyways, so I was getting ready to post about 5 weeks ago or so. And I was thinking about, the story that I wanted to tell, the content that I wanted to create, the stuff that I wanted to include in the video. And I was getting ready to go record that evening. It was September 10th. And while I was in class teaching that day, I actually got the news that Charlie Kirk had been assassinated. And I tell you what, that shook me. That was something that really, it made me think a lot about what I'm doing here specifically, but overall, kind of how I'm continuing in my own career. One of the things that I really admired about Charlie was when he was asked what he wanted to be remembered for. Like if he was to die, what would he want to be remembered for? And he responded with, "I want to be remembered for my courage and my faith." Right? And unapologetically, Charlie was out there on student campuses, in his podcast, on YouTube videos, talking about politics, yes, government policy, yes, but overall, the context in everything that he believed was from his Christian faith. And when you listen to his interviews, it's very clear to him that nothing is more important to him than his relationship with Jesus Christ. And I think that is just so admirable that somebody could put themselves out there like that and unapologetically have these conversations with people based on that, right? I think that's going to overall influence, I think, how we move forward this channel. Now, I'm not going to Bible thump you guys or sit here and preach at you and bust open scripture and pray and do all that kind of stuff. There's other channels for that kind of stuff if you want to. I still am going to move forward with the career development and advancement and personal development side of content, but all of that content is going to be with the subtext of Christianity, right? My faith. I have struggled over the last number of years heavily with imposter syndrome. I have been in a lot of really great positions where I've had a lot of influence and control and power and leadership that I've really enjoyed. But I've always kind of felt like I don't belong here, right? I don't feel like I was prepared. I don't feel like I was knowledgeable enough. I come from a very humble background where I've had to do a lot of self-teaching. I've had some great mentors and leaders over the last number of years that have helped me a lot, but the majority of what I know is self-taught. I did all of my education online, from my bachelor's, my first master's, and my MBA, and even my DBA now is through distance learning. It's kind of how you have to do it these days anyways, unless you're a professional student. But I've always kind of felt like in these positions, I just don't belong here, right? And that's for a couple of reasons. One, as I've already said, the background that I have in being self-taught, but also I feel like in the professional environment, I don't fit. I'm a goofball, you guys. Like, if you haven't noticed from my previous videos, I can be cringy and goofy, and I just really want to kind of have a good time. I don't think anything is so important that it requires us to be just so stiff and rigid and uptight in our day-to-day. I think that there's a lot to be happy about. I think there's a lot of things that I have been blessed with, that when I wake up in the morning, I'm just a happy person. And I don't want to go to work and have to put on this fake face, or I'm just this, rigid leader. And I've had to do that for years, and it's exhausting. And it's gotten me in trouble, to be honest. I can give you an example. I was doing a site tour for a VP at Amazon. I won't mention any names, but I was walking around with this VP and explaining some of the processes that we had and things that we were doing. And I remember my boss pulling me to the side because I had been kind of sarcastic, right? I wasn't being rude, but I was, I was having a good time with it, and walking around with the VP of Amazon. Was going to say his title there, but again, I don't want to give away who it is. But it became very apparent to me and to my boss that the VP was not okay with some of the answers to his questions, right? And it wasn't like the answers were bad; they were honest answers. But I was proud of the site and where we had gotten to. This wasn't an underperforming site. We weren't doing poorly. This was not a bad visit. And so I was just having a good time. I was proud to show the site. I was proud of what we've done. And I was having a good time with the VP, but he did not appreciate it at all. And so my boss ended up kind of pulling me aside and being like, hey, you know what? He's clearly not enjoying the conversation. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, like, why not? Like, I mean, we're just having a good time here, right? I'm not in trouble. This is not a disciplinary meeting. This is not a walkthrough of the building. And I have been a part of those. I've been a part of the walkthroughs of buildings that they're not performing well, and they're very serious, right? Because that's how it's supposed to be. But it's just, I don't fit in those environments. I am not a suit and tie kind of guy. As you can see, I think I've worn a black t-shirt now in all but maybe one of my videos. And this is just who I am. I just don't feel like there is this need to be fake. I don't feel like I need to do that. And especially with where I'm at now, I definitely don't feel like I need to do that. I am who I am. And so with that, and just to kind of come back full circle here, because I feel like I'm rambling at this point, is that in this channel, moving forward, what you can expect from me is, one, I'm going to be as authentic as I can be, and that's going to look like a lot of things, but it's going to, I just want to have fun with this. That's what I want to do, right? I do want to turn this into something, but I want to have some fun here. I want you to have fun watching these videos. At the end of the day, YouTube is entertainment, right? There's a lot of learning. I am a certified YouTube mechanic. And so I kind of want this to be something similar where you can get something out of it, but it's entertainment at the end of the day. And I'm going to continue to push that professional development. I'm going to continue to push the personal development and career advancement. And then I also want it to all be based on the subcontext of my faith and who I am as a person. And I want that to come through here. I want you guys to authentically know who I am, and what Christ means to me, and how that looks like in my day to day. And so there's going to be this convergence of those two things. That's what you should expect moving forward. What do you guys think? Let me know below. Did Charlie Kirk's death impact you? Am I off my rocker? What do you think about the moving forward of the channel? I love hearing from you guys. Again, there's only 29 of you, but I'd love to hear from you and your thoughts. Any ideas that you have of something that you want to hear from me, would love to hear it. Anyways, until next time, talk to you later.